I never thought something so small could dismantle a life I had spent years building. Looking back now, it feels surreal how one impulsive decision opened a door I could never close again. That evening was supposed to be joyful, loud, and carefree, one of those rare moments where you think nothing bad could possibly happen. My husband and I had invited a few close friends over before we all headed out to celebrate the opening of a new lounge owned by someone we knew. The house was filled with laughter, the clinking of glasses, and music humming softly in the background. I remember standing in front of the mirror earlier that night, adjusting my dress and smiling at my reflection. I wanted to feel admired, wanted to feel seen. Our marriage had slowly settled into a routine, and while there was still love, there was also a level of comfort that sometimes felt like neglect. I told myself these thoughts were harmless, that I was just craving a little excitement, not betrayal. The drinks flowed easily, maybe a little too easily. Conversations started to blur together, the jokes got louder, and somewhere between refilling glasses and greeting late arrivals, my judgment began to slip. I noticed one of our guests lingering near me, laughing at everything I said, giving me this intoxicating kind of attention. I knew it was wrong to enjoy it, but I did anyway. I kept telling myself it was innocent, that it didn't mean anything. When everyone began getting ready to leave, my husband stepped away to start cleaning up. That was the moment I made the worst decision of my life. I leaned in closer, far closer than I should have, and let the moment take over. What was meant to be playful turned reckless in just a few seconds. I crossed a boundary I could never, ever uncross. And then a sound behind me shattered everything. I turned and saw my husband frozen in place, his expression unreadable but completely devastating. Nothing I could say mattered after that. The look in his eyes wasn't anger at first, it was disbelief, the kind of shock that just hollows a person out from the inside. Without a single word, he walked out, leaving a silence so heavy it felt suffocating. That night stretched on forever. The house felt unfamiliar and cold, like it was rejecting me. Our friends left awkwardly, avoiding my eyes. I tried calling him over and over, leaving desperate messages filled with apologies and explanations that sounded pathetic even to my own ears. Morning came, but he didn't. The days that followed were unbearable. Guilt consumed me. I barely slept, barely ate. Every corner of our home reminded me of what I had just destroyed. When his sister came to check on me, I knew things were serious. She told me he needed space, that he was deeply, deeply hurt. Hearing how broken he was felt like the punishment I deserved. I started going to therapy, not because I was hoping for forgiveness, but because I needed to understand how I had become someone capable of hurting the person who trusted me the most. I learned some really uncomfortable truths about myself, how much I craved validation from others, how silence had replaced communication in our marriage, and how my selfishness often hid behind a sense of humor. Weeks later, he finally agreed to meet. Seeing him again hurt more than I ever expected. He looked older, tired, and so guarded. He told me how betrayed he felt, how small and foolish that one moment had made him feel. I just listened without interrupting, knowing I had no defense. When he said he was willing to try again, I felt a tiny spark of hope, fragile and trembling. But rebuilding trust isn't a straight path. Even after he came back home, a huge distance lingered between us. Our conversations felt forced, any touch felt cautious. Every effort I made just seemed to fall short. I could sense his restraint, his inner conflict, and it terrified me. Then one night something changed. He suggested we go to dinner, and he acted warmer than he had in months. I let myself think it was a sign of healing. I allowed myself to believe that our love had actually survived. After dinner, he led me outside, completely calm and composed. And that's when everything collapsed all over again. He showed me the pain I had caused him deliberately, coldly. In that moment, I understood that forgiveness had never truly been on the table. What he needed was balance. He needed a way to make me feel the same devastation he had been carrying. Watching him walk away with someone else broke me in a way I can't fully explain. I didn't scream. I didn't chase him. I simply understood that we were over. What remained was just emptiness and regret. We both became versions of ourselves we never thought possible. Our love had turned into revenge, and the trust between us dissolved into nothing. The divorce followed quietly, without any drama, just a deep sense of exhaustion. Now, I live with the weight of that choice every single day. I learned far too late that seeking attention can cost you everything you hold dear. Some mistakes don't offer second chances. Some love stories don't end with forgiveness, but with lessons carved painfully into your memory. Thank you for listening to my story. If you've been through something similar or just want to share your thoughts, please leave a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories.